And I would like to elaborate on that. My basic background is mechanical, and I passed out way back in 73. Then I did my post graduation in design, and I joined IDC. Now, people have talked about this design thinking. Now, let me share my views on that. Give me a minute. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir. Screen is visible.
So the title of this today's session is Involution of Design Thinking in Product Development. And I thought few aspects which are not touched upon by my previous speakers, I will just quickly touch why it is important in today's world. So let me go ahead. Yeah, so this is our IDC and welcome to Design Thinking Domain. Admit all, how to, okay. People are in the waiting room. Can Rajendra, you allow or somehow? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir.
People are in the waiting room. Can you take charge of that?
Sir. You continue, sir. I'll take care of it.
Okay, I will enable. No, I can't this thing. Maybe I have to at your end, Professor. Yeah. Go to security and disable waiting room.
Right, sir.
Because otherwise that will keep on popping in my.
I'll do that, sir. You please continue, sir.
So what is design thinking? Of course, last 3 days, you are bombarded. I was very impressed with Mr. Arvind Deshmukh's thing, and he has gone into detail about what is design thinking and up to the level that Stanford Design School model, 5 stages and all that. By the way, that Stanford design program was started by my late friend, Professor Faste. Actually, we worked together on very interesting UNESCO fellowship program, and then he was visiting IDC. We conducted many creativity programs and all that. Unfortunately, he is not there, but he was instrumental in starting that Stanford design program. Then Professor Rajat yesterday talked about inventions and innovations in design thinking. Professor Urmi from IIT Guwahati, she has covered particularly this aspect of ergonomics or human engineering aspect in product development. Design, I'm not going much into details about what is design thinking, how we can actually carry it forward. And I 100% agree with previous speakers that it's not only forte of designers. Everybody rather should start using design thinking in product development. And I'm typically using DFX, no? That very commonly used in engineering language, DFX approach, where X is, I'm just redefining their user, X, where X is like user-friendly products, E is in operation, E is in maintenance, E is in transportation, E is in erection, energy efficient products and like that. So I look at the design thinking process as a very disciplined search for creative ways to do things better, different, and in more effective ways. We are working on the existing product or new products, but we are trying to make it better, different, and more effective. Then only it is innovation, and then it is patentable. And why it is becoming so important today? Because of globalization. And another new trend is e-marketing. Now I can sit in any corner of the world with the click of button. I can see the products available in some remote village in Africa. And maybe with the e-marketing, I can even order that. It's possible today. So globe or the world has become a global village. We know what is available everywhere, and I can procure that also. Now, I'm very proud of that recent year, the middle income group, the earning is increasing. And what does that mean? There is some money available now for them after spending on roti, kapda, makan, the basic necessity, on things of desire. Now I would like to buy a better TV, better mobile, better car, better, all those things, better chappals, better clothing, everything, now better. Now these are desires, these are no more now necessities. And India is, hello? India is fast emerging as one of the largest market in the world. And more.
Sir, you are muted. Vijay sir. Sir, you are muted. Muted.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Professor Rajender, can you, as a host, go to security and disable that waiting room so that people can join whenever they are logging in?
Okay, sir.
Because it is disturbing, it is always popping up. People are waiting in the.
Sir, I think this is not.
Yeah. Okay. So India is fast emerging as one of the largest market in the world. So what's happening actually? Indian companies are facing real challenges, different challenges, new challenges. And these new challenges are, we are facing competition from imported products, which are having best technology. They are built with the best quality and even better aesthetics. And last but not the least important, many times they are at lower price. So now we can actually make a statement that if another Mahatma starts another Swadeshi movement, it will not be effective because my Indian buyer is very intelligent now. He will say, okay, I have 100 rupees to offer for this product. Other companies are offering me all these added value, added characteristics you also offer, definitely I will go for Indian product. Actually, another very interesting things are happening. In 2019, our PM Narendra Modi envisioned that India will become 5 trillion economy by our platinum jubilee. And it's fantastic. And his dream is to make us a global powerhouse. So how we can achieve that? One important aspect is export of user-friendly products and services can play very important role in this achieving this dream. Atmanirbhar Bharat, very, very fantastic term he has started using in all his speeches, Atmanirbhar. So we are saying we want to reduce the import and also increase the export. And that will be possible because they have actually at central government level, they have identified almost like 500,000, let me correct, hectares of land for foreign companies. They are making many, many easier rules to do the business. 9 new ministries are in the pipeline to boost manufacturing. And one very interesting ministry is Ministry for Innovation. So user-centric design is the key for today's competitive world. It's a survival. If you want to survive, you have to really develop user-centric design. And this design thinking is centered around this user-centric approach, FFA, or we start first ask who is the user and then start designing our product around him to match his or her requirement. Most of the time, engineering side of innovation deals with new technologies, new material, new processes, new details, which are important, new materials, all those things are important. But I also feel this will lead to very interesting new, we can reduce the cost, we can introduce new materials, new finishing. We all must have used the twisted drill for making the holes in metal, wood, and all that. This drill tip do become blur. So we need to grind it. So my mechanical friends, they design very interesting design where there are gear system, there is crank, and there is a mouse taper where I can insert the drill and I can mount it on the pedestal grinder, and as angle is set, I have to just rotate the wheel and I will get perfectly sharpened drill tip. Fantastic. But if you really ask me, this whole innovation is done overlooking the structural design and even the human aspect. No? The structural design means, is it really easy to assemble, easy to manufacture, and all those aspects. So it's a wonderful innovation, but I'm afraid it is not sellable in the market. So design thinking helps in developing user-centric products, which are with added value. They are aesthetically appealing, they are user-friendly. I don't need very elaborate 100 pages manual for that. And they are very simple to use. They are intuitive to use. You look at the product and you feel, yes, I can use it without really reading the manual. So when we designed this, product designed this, it became compact, it became sellable, it became usable. Because now crank is brought on the side, I have I'm using the self-centering chuck, so it is easy to use even on the straight drills. So I'm referring it to the coin where technology and design, the user-centric aspect, they are two sides of the coin. And we know that if both the sides are not there, then it is Badda Rupaya and Amitabh Bachchan can use it only in Sholay. You know that whole thing, right? So to make the product successful, technology also is equally important, and user-centric approach is important. And our design thinking approach will help us to develop products which will satisfy the user. I'm taking very simple products which are available in the market, and I'm elaborating how design thinking has helped us to develop better products. So adhesive tape for medical application. Now let me talk about the adhesive tape first. We all use this cello tape. It's a wonderful product, and I can just cut a piece. But is it really user friendly? No. There are many breakdowns or many problems when we use. Okay, we have to use either a cutter or a scissor, and always, if it is without a dispenser in this form, you have to use your nail to locate the starting point. Or I have developed a very simple technique. I use a paper pin and then I cut. So always it is easy to locate. So this is like you have to develop something. Otherwise, in this form, it is useless. Or difficult, not useless. Let me correct my. But with a simple plastic added device, a dispenser, now my life is simpler. Agree with? So, how much increase in the cost? Maybe 5 rupees, but it is making the life comfortable, which is very important. Now, we all know the Band-Aid or medicated tape, which we use in bandaging the wounds. This is wonderful. It is based on the cloth, and then I have applied a special adhesive, which will help in healing my wound. Fantastic. But because it is based on the cloth, I can't use the dispenser like my previous example. So I have to use either a paper cutting knife or a very sharp scissor. But so to overcome this, we have developed Band-Aid, fantastic product, self-help. So if my finger is injured, there is a cut while cutting the vegetable, I can just take out the Band-Aid, open it, and put it on my wound. But if wound is big, then I have to rush to hospital, and the hospitals have to use those big roll, and they have to use the cutter. This is like a problem identification. Yes, medicated tape is important for bandaging the larger wounds, but you require a cutter or device to cut it into pieces. 3M. We are very much aware of this 3M company, which is known for the innovator. Okay, all their products, starting from the Post-it to so many. So they have developed MicroPost. This is based on the specially made non-woven fabric paper, and it is tearable by hand. Fantastic. And because this is non-woven, then it also breathes, so it allows the wound to heal. That is very important, that there must be aeration of the wound. If I use the sellotape, my wound will not get healed up early. So fantastic product. But being a designer, I thought, yes, it is fantastic. But can we improve it further? And when I started thinking about By that time, 3M has introduced another. It is Micropost. Fantastic product. Now, look at this. Okay. Is it a rocket technology? No, not really. But it allows me to cut very, very small pieces. Is it rocket science or rocket technology? No, we are using perforation for ages. No? All our stamps, all our checkbooks, all our bill books, we have perforations. What 3M has done, it is repeated perforation, which allows you to cut into a smaller pieces. And the cut is very clean. Okay. And those holes are playing double role. It allows you to cut and it also allows the aeration of wound, which is very important in healing. Fantastic. And today, this is multi-billion-dollar business. This is becoming like a de facto standard in all hospitals. This is available even in India. And not very costly, very, very friendly. I will advise if you want to keep one tape for medical application, please go for this. Another very interesting product development process. And I'm trying to share this thought behind how design thinking can lead to a world-class product, user-friendly product. So till we all know till 2005, smartphones were having phones with the multiple ABC on the numbers. No? We have all used, one is having AB and two is having, so many times you have to keep on pressing the number key. So BlackBerry came out with the product having 40 keys, but same small screen and keys are so small. So I used to operate them with my ball pen. Okay, because my finger used to, if I press with my finger, two keys used to get pressed. But fantastic, BlackBerry. So Apple, before this 2005, they were not really having any phone. So this is very fantastic way of developing product. And Apple is wonderful product of a company that gives constraint to themselves and develop product, breakthrough products and services. And of course, Steve Jobs, he was the founder and he led the design team. So Steve Jobs and his chief designer, Jonathan Ive. Okay, this is like a dialogue. I really don't know whether this happened like this, but it's really nicely explains how we use design thinking in developing a fantastic world-class user-friendly product. So dialogue between Steve Jobs and what if we make the phone without keyboard? Fantastic. Jonathan, why would we want to do that? Well, if there is no keypad, there will be more room for the screen. Fantastic. Because all previous phones, though they were allowing you to do texting, screen was small. And by that time, internet was becoming powerful and we could browse and we could look at the videos, and bigger screen would mean it would be more useful for emails, browsing, playing games. Look at the vision, look at the thought behind. Jonathan, sounds good, but how do people make phone calls, or how you will enter the numbers, or letters for texting? Steve, okay, how about a virtual keyboard that just appears on the screen when you want it, and then it disappears? Isn't it a fantastic design thought? How would that work? Maybe we'll make the screen touch sensitive. Actually, Apple was not having that technology. So the acquired Fingerworks, expert in multi-touch surfaces. And on 9th January, it was like a historical milestone when iPhone was introduced. And that is like a beginning of all our smartphones. Design thinking is important in developing really fantastic product. And iPhone is one of the major component in their equipment, which is giving them real good returns. Let me elaborate on power of design thinking again with another example. Okay, I'm just trying to present it in a story form. I observed that roadside scooter mechanics or my carpenters, when they are working on a furniture project, they use nut bolts, washers, and screws. We all know washer is very important, but it looks like it is designed for dropping. It is such a tiny product, very important in engineering function, but such a tiny to handle. So my observation, they use screwdriver with magnetic tip to lift this drop product. Okay, and we all know in 6-7 standard we have learned magnet attracts ferrous thing. Converting that principle, my carpenters and mechanics, they have converted their screwdriver as a lifting device. Fantastic. But when you look at the magnetic tip screwdriver, it's not compact. It is not sellable as a product to other people. Maybe only carpenters or the mechanics or those technical people will buy this. And it's not compact. Now I'm trying to present another scenario. I'm saying I'm an old man. I'm trying to open my door. And thanks to my lock manufacturers, keyhole is always very tiny. I have to struggle to insert my key. Thanks to my interior decorators and architect, always the lamp or the lighting throws shadow of my own shadow on the keyhole, making my life more difficult. If I'm really old, there might be onset of Parkinson's, my hands might be shaking, and I might drop the keys. With the old age, there might be also problem with the back. I can't bend quickly. Problem. Can I develop some very compact product for this problem? Yes, I can. So I thought of developing very compact product. It's like a innovation. So I attached a permanent magnet on a thread. I can carry it in my pocket and I can use it for lifting dropped keys or anything. Fantastic. Now I have solved the problem for myself. So this is my innovative device. I can wrap the thread. There is a loop. So I can hold it on my finger, put it on. I can leave the dropped object or my keys. Fantastic. But you agree it looks like a jugaad? My friend, do you agree? So this product is not really sellable. For last 20 years or plus, I'm trying to offer it in this type of platform and trying to sell it. But nobody has offered me more than 5 rupees. Why? Because that jugaad look, people feel why I should buy it from Professor Bapat. IIT brand is not helping me to market it. So this product is a wonderful product, very compact, but there is lack of human-centric design approach. It doesn't look like a value-added product. It looks like a jugaad. Can you see I'm carrying one product in my pocket? And this product is like having a clip. And it's nothing but a small magnet, powerful magnet fixed on a tip of the area. Wow. Doesn't the design thinking lead to a fantastic innovation? It's compact, it is carryable in my pocket, it is respectable to carry. It allows me to lift or drop product. Very, very interesting product. Another product. I'm holding it like a torch because now there is very powerful LED in the front. It is also extendable. Now look at the form and ruggedness of the design. It also helps me to lift drop keys. But more than that, I'm an old person or an old lady. And when I'm going out for a walk with my pet dog, I have to protect my dog from the stray dog. We all know there is fantastic close friendship with the stray dogs and pet dogs. So I need to protect. This can act as a van. It's so strong that even I can protect myself against vandalism and good dog. Fantastic. Understanding user and using design thinking as a process to develop product further and further and further. Even that small aerial can be added with a torch, LED bulb, and it becomes a lifting device. Now there are 4 products I'm putting on a table. So one is the jugaad or a contraption, second, third, fourth. And look at the price, what it demands. The last one, that stick or a torch and a van, 16 euros. I bought it in Switzerland. Isn't it a wonderful product? Isn't it wonderful application of design thinking? Now look at this, where power of thinking and power of design is bringing in value addedness. These are all, we are ready to pay $5, $8, 16 euros because there is added value. Isn't it fantastic? It looks like a torch. It looks like a very decent product. And also it is key lifting. It's protecting the hand. Now in this process, what we started with the roadside mechanics, but we have redefined the context. Old person drops his keys accidentally. And I'm calling this product as a drop key lifting device. Maybe it is not designed for those mechanics and the carpenters. They may use it, but using design thinking, I have expanded my market share to many, many folds. This is becoming like a pinpoint product for the old people. And in fact, I purchased this in a department store, particularly in US, where there is a section for the aged people, because most of the Americans, maximum number is old, demographically more old people than the young people, while in India we have young people. So maybe this product will not sell in India. but it's designed for US market where the countries are having more older people population. Now, we have started talking about the user-centric, and which helps me to develop fantastic product. Now, I'm elaborating on user. I'm user. You are bombarded with this, no? And the design thinking. Yes. No. Further, I'm going into details of user. They can be divided into 3 groups: primary, secondary, tertiary. To explain this term in a better manner, I'm using the domestic mixer and grinder, a very typical product which is very common today in our homes. Even at villages now where power is there, people have started using this mixer and grinder because it makes life comfortable of those wives who are really doing very extensive cooking, and their life is a drudgery. If we have to manage kitchen, my God, it's a real problem for me. All day kitchen management. Yes. So who is the primary user? My wife. Okay, she uses the mixer and grinder for making chutney and all that. Now, as I'm staying in Bombay, space is very expensive, almost like 50,000 to, it starts with the 50,000 plus per square feet. My kitchens are very small. I have very small kitchen platform. So the housewives in Bombay, their requirement is totally different. Of course, it must help them to grind chutney, dal, or whatever grinding and liquidizing. It should be very heavy performer. Visibility during use, because I may have to add water or other ingredients one after another. Now, last 3 are easy to pack after use. If my friends are coming from all other places, okay, your kitchens are really big. They might be as big as my bedroom. 10 by 10 is the minimal size of bedroom as per the BMC. While your kitchens might be bigger than the 10 by 10. So I have to design it for easy to pack after use and store. There must be some wire management, lightweight. So when I start looking at the user and his or her requirement, many new requirement I can start jotting down. No? And this will lead to a better new innovation. Now, let us not debate whether it's good to employ the maid servant or not, okay? But I'm actually creating a bread earning facility or job for her. Maybe her or him, maybe Gadi also might be visiting my house. Now, she's coming daily to my house, once or twice, depends on my family. She visits for about 20 minutes to 30 minutes and she cleans all my utensils. So roughly about 20 to 30 seconds per utensil. So if my wife has used the grinder for making garlic chutney, she keeps the bowl for cleaning to my maid servant. Now from maid servant, she is also user now. Okay, and I'm saying, what are her requirements? It should be very easy to dismantle the blades. It should be very easy to clean, less number of parts. Okay, why easy to dismantle blade? Because most of the time you must have observed that the below the cutting blades, there are niches and crevices, which are most difficult to clean. So the chutney made jar, if it is to be cleaned, she has to open up. In half a second, she should do half a minute. She has to do all this. Isn't it demanding? And maybe my maid servant is illiterate, and that's why she is maid servant, maybe. Assembly line worker, or him or her in electronics industry, It's female dominated because they can do very repetitive, persistent, micro level job. No? Sometimes we use microscope for assembly. Easy to assemble, pick up different parts based on the second. Poka yoka, of course, in engineering teaching, we talk about poka yoka, design for poka yoka, thanks to Japanese industry. So that every time a worker is assembling it in the right way. And that should be designed like that. All parts must be designed for poka yoka principle. Even in transportation, transport and workers, because in India, we still are far away from that automation like loading and unloading in the trucks. Now it should be very easy to lift, pass on and load in the truck. It should maximize loading in the vehicle. So size, if it is 3-tonner LCV or 10-tonner or the big container, that size becomes very important when I'm deciding the unit pack, or it helps me to decide what should be the size of my mixer and grinder. Salesman. Now, particularly when we are going for buying a mixer and grinder, I visit with my wife to different shops. Maybe they are having different brands. And that salesman has to demonstrate the power of mixer and grinder. So he plugs in the plug, switches it on, and my wife, she tries the knob and hears that sound. Sound tells you the power of machine. Salesman is a poor user, so he has to show maybe 3, 4, 5, 10 different products. Quickly open it up, demonstrate, and keep it back because we are going to buy only one product. Look at the salesman and the user. All products, we don't believe in that Western approach, use and throw. So we like to maintain those. Okay, these are not small products. This is like I am spending 3,000, 5,000 rupees for my mixer and grinder. So if it stops working, then I'm going to either call mechanic. Of course, the bigger machine, white machine, the service mechanic will visit your home. Mixer and grinder, maybe I have to take it to the repair shop. But he is a user. It should be very easy to diagnose the problem, easy to dismantle, easy to place, replace, easy to assemble. Even to that extent, at the end of the product life, we Indians, actually we should be proud about this, our philosophy. Okay, we should not be ashamed of actually today's green world, reducing carbon footprint and all that. The world is looking at India where this kabadi wala concept is there. Okay, I don't throw my old newspaper, I sell it to the kabadi wala. In turn, he collects and gives it for recycling. Fantastic. So even when at the end of the life of mixer and grinder, I'm going to sell the mixer and grinder to kabadi wala. Maybe he will offer 50 rupees, 100 rupees, whatever. He's the best judge to offer you money. Now for him, from his point of view, it should be very easy to dismantle, separate different parts based on material, because he would also like to separate the copper wire which is used in winding of motor, because copper can fetch real good value while the stamping is maybe 10 rupees a kilo scrap value. Copper is about 300 rupees scrap value. He becomes my user and I have to design product for him. Today, the car manufacturers, the auto giant, there is design team working on new designs of a car. And then there is equally important group working on disassembly of cars. At the end of the life of a car, it should be very easy to disassemble. And they are talking about automated disassembly and barcoding so that even ABS and styrene and PP will be separated. These are the plastics. Okay, so automated machines can separate plastics, metals like aluminum and copper and kabadiwala. Because if we want to make our earth livable, green design and reducing carbon footprint and all that, this becomes important. It's almost like a PLM approach, product life cycle management I am talking about, and design thinking helps in this. Designing from cradle to grave. I'm designing it from user point of view. All these users, when I say users are involved, design thinking is involved, then I start looking at different users. They are responsible for at a cradle stage to a grave stage. So let me elaborate on how should we have a small break and people can ask me some questions. How about that, Professor Rajendra? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Sir, you're audible, sir.
Yeah, so are there any questions? Because this is part A, I have talked about the user-centric and so we can take some few questions, quick questions if there are any.
Dear participants, is there any query? Dear participant, is there any query? No, sir. Okay.
Good.
Nice.
Then I will continue.
Yes, sir.
I will start sharing again. Okay. Now I'm calling this as a success through user-centric product innovation. Now user-centric requires product thinking. Okay, so being a designer, I'm more comfortable to use this term user-centric. I'm with IDC for last 48 years and I have developed 58 products for Indian and multinational companies, and there are few patents also on my name. Recently, we patented one product for American market. So all these are based on using design thinking as a base. And my first question is always, who is the user? And then I learn the technology which is used for manufacturing these and all that. Fine. So way back in 1998, Volta's forklift truck manufacturing division approached me. They were facing real competition from Japanese and Korean trucks, which were not only good looking, but they were really user friendly. Now, who is the user for this forklift truck? Primary user is that driver who is actually driving this forklift truck. And he is actually working in shifts, 8 hours a shift, maybe 6 days a week, into 52 weeks, like that per year. So, when they approached, they said, we are facing problems of competition from Japanese and Korean trucks because the drivers are more happy to drive those trucks. They are competing even at the price level. They are better looking. So, sir, can you design something? I said, yes, definitely it will be my pleasure. It was a pretty long project. Myself and my two passed out MBA designer worked as a design assistant with me. And it was going on for almost 14 months because of 3 months we spent on understanding user, understanding environment. We visited port trust, we visited big industries, small industries, where this forklift truck is used, and talked to almost like 100 drivers. And everybody was complaining, sir, there is a backache. At the end of the day, there is a backache. So we started wondering why almost everybody is complaining about the backache. Using my ergonomics principle, Professor Urmi has talked about the ergonomics day before yesterday. And we also have fantastic ergonomics lab in IDC. So we tried to understand what's going wrong in this design. Let's start. Okay, this particular slide shows 2 designs. The one truck, which is in the forefront, which is near me, is Yale truck. And the second truck is Voltas. Now, Yale truck is the basic truck. There was a total know-how transfer from Yale to Voltas forklift truck division. They had understanding, and that truck is still working with them. Okay, look at the Yale truck, same capacity, and the Voltas forklift truck. Okay, it is higher, and not only that, but when we started looking at the problems of a user, we observed that on this forklift truck, on the vertical wall, there is a small cutout. And engineers call it as a step. In my earth moving equipment, which I used in mines and all that, maybe these steps may be in multiple numbers, 3, 4, 5. And then there are handles provided. Or sometimes they put the ladder on. Okay, so this Voltas forklift truck, 2.5 ton, the smallest in their range, they have provided a small cutout. And this driver is supposed to insert his toe. Now I'm referring to the 2 parts of the leg, toe part in that step. You can very easily locate the step, insert the toe, and climb. Now here on this forklift truck, there are no handles, so he uses the steering wheel and that basic forklift truck structure. Fantastic. He somehow manages to climb in. I'm using the term manages to climb in. Now he has to also climb down. And this is almost like a 90 centimeter, 3 feet tall floor, and he has to jump. And when we actually observed and when we talked to these drivers, they were saying at least 20, 30 times they have to jump per day. Into 6 days a week, into 52 weeks, look at how many jumps per year they are jumping from 3 feet. And these drivers are not athletes, they are not trained to jump. No? And our spine and spinal cord is not designed for absorbing this type of germ. The culprit of the problem or culprit for that backache, crux of the problem is this. Almost every forklift truck driver was complaining within a year or so, backache starts. Problem is that small cutout in the sidewall. Now here in this, when he has to walk down or climb down, he's facing outward. The step is not visible. And even if he manages the blind operation, heel comes near the step. Can I insert the heel? No. It is designed for inserting toe, not the heel. So we said, oh, this is the problem. So we use design thinking as a process to solve this problem. And how to solve this problem? We said we should create a step which is visible from the top. He is in the sitting position and the step should be visible. So somehow we carved out a step. We could reduce the distance from that 850 to by 450. Still it is tall. Okay, but one can call it is a tall step. Now instead of jumping from 3 feet, and this step can be used face inward, and I can push my leg down. Okay, 1 feet, 40 centimeter is not impossible to get down. My drivers were really happy about this innovation, because after this, we have to test effectiveness of this. So we called some drivers. This is in IDC. We made a prototype using we call it as a, it is not working mechanical prototype, but it look-alike model. So person can climb in and get down. We called some 10, 15 drivers and they say, fantastic. This is what is needed to get down from. And when he is using every day for lifting heavy load, he has to get down 20, 30 jumps, depending on what he is handling that day. As I was telling you that we spent 3 months in understanding existing design. So user is even the assembly line worker, service mechanic, and even we came out with the 6 different chassis design, which can make their life comfortable, easy to assemble, easy to maintain, easy to locate the problem. But when we presented this to management, management said, sir, every design is fantastic, but it's like a redesigning the whole truck, because the basic chassis we were proposing to change. And these are concepts, not engineering design, but these are design from user point of view. These are ideas. So they requested not to change the basic chassis, minimal changes in the chassis. But each design, I can talk about half an hour to elaborate on why we developed this, no? Using design thinking. So in some chassis, there was less material and easy to assemble, and almost like those approaches, no? The creative design approach. So management requested minimal changes in It was like packing old wine in new bottle. We accepted the challenge. We made those changes. We made the full-scale thermocol model using 10 mm, 20 mm, 30 mm thermocol sheet to explain to assembly worker which plate and how the chassis is to be assembled. When they made this first modified chassis, they in fact used our thermocol model at the shop floor welding bay. And then we developed, they sent it across to IDC. If you have visited IDC, this is just in front of that mechanical bay behind IDC. And this is how it looks now. Of course, being a designer, I'm good at form development. I can develop forms which are world class. I propose the change in color and all that. But this is still old story. No? We designed it in our job completed in 99. We submitted our proposal. We actually, this whole model was shifted. This is full-scale thermocol model built on their modified chassis. One of my designer was taken in by the Voltas, and he worked on converting this into working prototype. So it was tested, and then there is first iteration, engineering iteration, and second iteration. It was launched as a product of Millennium in 2000, December. It was a very proud moment for a designer and even Voltas R&D team, because it was looking great. It was really satisfying the need of a driver. And I'm not again going into much detail how we improved the control panel, shifted some levers so that the lever which is really necessary for operating the fork moving up and down, because that is the most used lever. We brought it very near to and comfortable position to driver, like what Professor Salve has explained in the ergonomics approach. And this is what was introduced in the market. Though they have not accepted my proposal for change in color and all that, but today, if you look at our material handling equipment, also are coming in automobile colors. Okay, lilac and parrot green, and those bright colors are also Western material handling companies started introducing in products. That was a bit too early for Indian company to accept color change. They said we will use our yellow and white and black. And this is the product which was introduced in the market, and it was very successful. They even started exporting. And look at what we could achieve using design thinking. Let me switch on my fan. It has started becoming. Now that image on the side, I have drawn two lines. One is the ground line, and another line which is in automobile lingo, the car styling, we call it as a waistline. Almost all cars, they have waistline below the glass, and that waistline can be modified by providing some very interesting features like those are the car styling people domain. But what we did actually, we reduced the height by 150 mm by reorganizing internal component. Because they said nothing is to be changed, not even the air filter, everything same. Old wine into a new bottle. And it should be really user friendly, and still if there are many other advantages, yes, that will be added value. Because we have reduced the height of this body by 150 mm, 15 centimeters, 6 inches. This body is built with 10, 20, 30 mm steel plates, 500 kilo steel saving. It has become now lighter. Now, keeping the lifting capacity same, that's important. So we manipulated little bit on the balancing weight, but lifting capacity is same. Still, total saving on the weight, 500 kg of steel. Because now basic load is less, dead weight is less, fuel efficiency has improved, speed is gone up, gradient performance improved, and this is becoming like a 5-star product. We all know that my AC is refrigerator and all these electrical products now. Even in India, we have started rating it, no, giving the stars based on its fuel efficiency, energy efficiency. 5-star will give you real good energy efficient product, but you have to pay more because it is like a saving per month in electricity for the lifetime of that product. Now, if your dead weight of 500 kilo is less, it's like I'm going to use less diesel every month. They started charging premium on this. It is a 5-star rated product, one can call. They started exporting it. Actually, this division was in red, means they were not really making good profit because of the competition. In one and a half years time, because of export and because of the demand, increase in demand, 5-star. My driver is more happy. It is looking good. It's comparable to international brands and still cheaper to produce, but I'm going to charge you more because it is energy efficient. Design thinking helps me in achieving this. Not only that, but the inside or reorganization, my service mechanics are more than happy. Because it is easy to change the oil. This is diesel driven, so oil needs replacement. Air filter requires replacement. All those parts are now very easy to access. That's design thinking. I worked on another product, cooler pump. Let me explain what is this cooler pump. Of course, in Bombay or this type of climate, where it is near the seashore, where humidity is high, the coolers, desert coolers are useless, they don't work. But in many parts of India, like Rajasthan and Nagpur and Delhi and Haryana, all that, it is dry climate away from the seashore, and desert cooler is very common. Now, what we do in desert cooler, and it is 1/3 cost as compared to AC, air conditioner, where we use compressor and freon gases, refrigerant gases. Desert coolers, there is a small tank of water, and we have to fill it with water. This is a small pump. When I switch on the desert cooler, this small pump lifts the water, throws it on the pad, evaporation pad we call it. There is a big blower behind. That big blower blows air, hot air, room temperature air. Normally we put it near window, so hot air is coming and water gets evaporate and that evaporation reduces temperature and I do get the cold air. Fantastic product at 1/3 cost. Desert coolers. Now this cooler pump was developed by R&D people from Crompton Greaves. Now IIT is at Powai and Crompton Greaves R&D is at Kanjurmarg, about 3 or 4 kilometers away. And we were having very close collaboration, understanding. We were having many projects, industry-driven projects. We were doing a lot of research. And this is the old story. And it is, if I remember right, around 90s. So the R&D team developed fantastic motor or a pump. Now, normally for this type of pump, there are many brands, Tolo and many brands are there. They are induction-based motor. Now, if there are my colleague, audience people, if they are belonging to electrical, they will understand what I'm talking about, or you can search on Google what is induction motor, what is permanent magnet motor, and all that thing. Now, this particular motor, which was developed by the R&D team, it is permanent magnet-based motor. Better technology, and from electrical point of view, permanent magnet motors are cheaper to produce and energy efficient. And they developed, tested, and this was ready for launch. And their launch was decided after 3 months. And at that time, Crompton Greaves management had fantastic system of inviting management approach. They used to invite professors of relevant experts from IIT and other places. Before launching, they used to call it as a go, no go meeting. So R&D team presented their research finding that this is the typical product which they presented. They had very detailed statistical data to prove that this is more energy efficient and all that. I was called from design, and my colleague, electrical professor, Professor Chandorkar, was called, and we attended this very important go, no go meeting. So if we say, no, this requires for some more work, then R&D team will take that further development and like that. A nice management approach to get a total different viewpoint, outside, unbiased view. So they presented, we were happy really because it is energy efficient. As compared to induction motor, they have reduced the components by about 5 or 10%. Both of us said yes, fantastic research and innovation. Nori, our VP at that time, asked me, Professor Bapat, yes, now from user point of view, design point of view, what is your comment? So using design thinking principle, I said, sir, fantastic, technically it is superb, but why? This is designed like a 100 HP motor. And normally these bigger motors, they are using axial assembly. So there is a stator, blue indicates the stator, and there is an end plate, there is a bearing, and then I put my rotor in, then I put my another end cap or cover. And this is how axial assembly of motor is done. Of course, I'm not showing the electrical thing, okay, but mechanical assembly is something like that. So I said, why this 100-watt motor, very tiny motor, is designed like a 100 HP motor? He said, can you elaborate? I said, and this was the sketch drawn during that meeting. I said, can we develop a motor based on the radial or side assembly? They gave me the challenge. They said, 3 months before launch, can you develop this product in 3 weeks? Challenge. We accepted that. I came out with a working prototype. Now this prototype was built using carbonate material because motor was running at very high temperature, 108, 103 or 108 degrees centigrade. Carbonate can withstand that type of temperatures. Because of my knowledge in plastic, I developed this in carbonate, first working hand fabricated rotor, because even 3D printing technology was not there, or it was available with not polycarbonate and this material. Actually, I was instrumental to start rapid prototyping facility in IDC in 98. So I'm aware of 3D printing. We used to call it RP, rapid prototyping. But even that was not capable of making it in polycarbonate, hand fabricated. We tested this. Now, again, all in design innovations are based on the requirement of a user or requirement of different desert coolers. The mounting plate changes. Different desert cooler manufacturers have different specification of mounting plate. This allows, okay, well, the basic pump structure is this much. I can snap on the mounting plate depending on what you want. It can be like this, it can be like this, and any other dimension and any other screw holes. Now look at what we could achieve. Components are reduced from 34. In their new design, permanent magnet motor, components were 34. We have reduced it to 19 because there are no screws. Plastic injection body, no screws. Assembly is based on snap-on. Assembly time is reduced almost by 40 or 50% because it can be done parallel assembly. You assemble the magnet on a shaft, and that assembly, the rotor, and your stator assembly is winding and stamping and all that. And third is bringing them together in plastic basic chassis, which is works on the snap-on. Plastic allows you to go for the snap-on, no screw. We introduced another very innovative detail. Cover acts as a heat sink. Most of the time, most of our common motors, the covers are protective cover, safety against rodents, cockroaches to go in, and the human being should not insert his finger in and get hurt, get shocked. While my cover, not only it protects electrical thing, but it acts as a heat sink. So operating temperature reduced from 103 degrees to 88 degrees centigrade. What does that mean? I can go for a cheaper copper winding because the copper winding has the insulation on it. I can't use the plain wire on as a winding. It will get short circuit. The winding is dependent on the turn, and copper wire itself is insulated. That insulation is rated for operating temperature. Now the temperature has come down. It's 88 degrees centigrade. So they can go to B class to C class. We could reduce the cost drastically on the copper. Design thinking. Design thinking can help you in improving each and every aspect. Why use screws? Screws are to be lifted. I must have a pneumatic screwdriver, insert it in the proper hole, and then drive and snap on. Just bring the part together and snap. And these were my first patents. These were my first patents. Design thinking helped us to improve so many features, and this is innovation. Third case study I would like to share. Electronic devices. Medium scale industry from Bombay. They are in this foil sealing machines. Electronic devices is their ED, is their name. And they were working on futuristic Sigma 3, they used to call it. Futuristic machine, which is having even the self-diagnostic module and all that. And they approached me and they said, sir, our current model looks like this. We want to develop futuristic model because we are exporting. Even this model is selling. They were exporting it to Europe and even to States. Let me elaborate on. This is foil sealing machine. What does that mean? There is a conveyor belt. This is nothing but it creates induction phase. A very powerful induction phase. Where it is used? Now, we all see the bottles, this thing, Nescafe bottle, pickle bottle, or medical bottles. When we open it, we see there is a foil. Isn't it? This foil has two important roles to play. It's protect inside content. Nescafe or the instant coffee is very hygroscopic. Some of my medical tablets, they become soggy. Okay, and we don't know how many months it will remain on the shelf. Shelf life, we call it. And once I buy, then when I have to open the seal. This is seal. So seal keeps the internal inside component fresh. Also, it gives me the confidence that this is not pilfered. Nobody has opened my instant coffee and used the 1 spoon of that coffee powder. Nobody has opened my pickle bottle and used pickle for his lunch. That confidence. We call it pilfer proof or pilfer evident. Somebody opens it, it is visible. So they always say, no, there is a seal. If bottle is inside seal is not intact, return the bottle. So best thing is expensive products, when you are buying, open the bottle cap and see that the seal is intact. How it works, the whole thing. When the company approached, we said, okay, we have to visit the manufacturing sites where this machine is used. We visited pharma, we visited even one pickle manufacturing company, and in nutshell, it is like a continuous line of conveyor belt. So there is a filling station, there is a capping station. When I am in capping station, the cap is inserted and rotated. Everything is automated. Almost like 40 bottles per day. Extreme, per minute. 40 bottles per minute is the capacity of this machine, which is a foil selling machine. It can be increased if needed, but this particular machine can accommodate that small bottle, 40 bottles per minute. Filling station, in pharma industry, it may be 1 million tablet manufacturing place. I have designed for a pharma company. 1 million tablet like Crocin and machine is capable. Then it comes to the filling station. Those are filled in bottles. Of course, glass bottles are for some medicine. Otherwise, I'm using the blister packing. That is another machine. In capping station or capping machine, the cap which I am actually putting on, there is a small piece of paper. It is a special corrugated aluminum paper, special coated aluminum paper, which is a seal. Is there already in that cap. So I cap it. It is moving further. When it passes through this induction field created by the foil sealing machine, of course, I have removed the cap, the seal gate attached to, because the induction heating results into melting of that glue and it seals. I have removed the cap. This comes like this. Now, design thinking, who is the user? So operator, so he has to rotate that top knob to adjust the machine height, because that is needed for adjustment depending on the height of your bottle. So it adjusts the gap between the conveyor belt and the machine. We even discussed to electronic fellow and everybody who was involved in designing this. I'm not expert in electronics, but I talked with the electronic design team, why this component, why it is there. And when I started looking at this, I said, can we redesign or do the new layout of the component? Because most of the time when I'm doing the circuitry, they place the component in such a way that the way current flows, it is easy to draw the circuitry to make the PCB board. So that is how they normally place the component. I said I would like to shift all tall components towards the behind, not in the front, but far side. They said, yes, that will involve a lot of this thing, electronic. Management asked, why, sir, you want to change that? I said, I want to come out with a different look. I will elaborate on what is the logic. Okay. So electronic teams, electrical team, they started reworking on relocating the components. Even looking at the cooling aspect, assembly aspect, why this L frame? So I spent manufacturing bay, how it is assembled, how it is welded, why it is designed like that, all those questions. And this is very, very critical photo which I could capture. I was really very lucky designer to get this photograph. Why I'm saying lucky designer? I saw one paper cup somebody has left on one machine. Okay, of course, if it is a glass, water is visible. If it is a teacup, I know it might have the last sip of the tea. Paper cup. This is like I have made design it in such a way that there is a call for accident. Now, why it is so important? Because the design thinking, I could visualize what will happen if this somebody accidentally tips this cup and there is a last sip of tea or water left in that. It's going to fall. It will flow in electronic circuit. Very heavy current is flowing to create induction field. This machine will stop. And in pharma industry, that 1 million tablet press, ACG Pharma, you can check their website. I have designed their 1 million tablet press. We have to stop that because that production, I can't store. After production, I must have a filling station and I should have a sealing station. It's like a continuous real-time working. So I said the existing design is such that the machine top can be very easily misused. Somebody can leave a cup, empty paper cup or empty, होगा तो इतना issue नहीं है, but if there is water or tea and if it spills, problem. If somebody leaves a pen or pencil or anything, cylindrical thing, it will drop. It will drop into the conveyor belt. Conveyor belt is going to stop. Call for accident. So I said, oh my God, the existing design, looking at using design thinking process, I could visualize what will happen in that environment. So I made a product brief for myself. I said, create a new form where it is a sloping forward shape. On sloping forward shape, nobody will keep the glass. If you leave a pen, it's going to roll over. And it's so designed, it will fall away. No? It will not fall in conveyor belt. So when we visit the actual site, we keep our eyes wide open and try to capture this type of accident-prone area. These are designed for accident. No? Yes. So I said new shapes. And because it is sloping forward, I requested my colleagues from electrical, electronic group to design all components which are taller components, they should be in the last row. All smaller components like ICs and all that, they should be in the front row. It's like a army people standing in a very disciplined manner. Tall people in the last rows, shorty people in the front row, and like that. Sloping forward. I came out with the better shape. Of course, it was a bit expensive to produce that depression in the front. So we adopted, made it very simple, but that sloping forward with almost basic similar thing, we have taken it for production. Another major issue. Okay, this picture, I call it as $1 million shot for picture or a shot for a designer. Of course, designer must be trained to look at this type of images and decipher. That deciphering, if you are really expert in design thinking, then you can decipher this image. This image was captured when I was visiting their manufacturing bay. And this is not all those three basic things which are visible in this, they are not related to each other. This is a delivery bay of industrial estate. So one has to really, one must be experienced to use this knowledge using design thinking. So I said, what is the problem? Before my involvement, the company used to assemble the whole machine. There is a heavy pedestal, there is a column, and then the electronic circuit, everything is housed in a housing, a machine. And when you combine all this thing, it becomes big, becomes heavy, and they used to use wooden crates. Very simple, very common solution. But why it is a problem? Because I am exporting it to Germany. And they were facing this problem. If you are exporting something to Germany, the German people, they're very intelligent people. They say, don't export free fungus with wooden crates. Try to do fumigation, and they need that fumigation certificate with the wooden crate, which is equally costly as compared to the wooden crate itself. Fumigation of the wooden crate. Why wooden crate? Because my machine is heavy. So when I saw this, and that picture is my $1 million image, typically in cartoons, that bulb lights up. In Tom and Jerry, when he gets idea, yes, same thing happened. I said, machine is heavy. What is the answer? Put it in separate pack. Human being, even my colleague, distribute it into two hands. Your body is more balanced to walk. Third aspect, which is not at all related to this Uniball company, they were manufacturing the CPUs, computer, and they were using corrugated board, paper corrugated packaging. This is like a eureka, no? This eureka. I said, Fantastic. I got the solution, $1 million solution for my problem. I came out with the modular concept where electronic device is separated, the column is separate, pedestal is separate. We are now using corrugated boxes to pack them up. 3 packages are going together for one machine. I can airlift now. So when you take out the basic electronic thing, it is wrapped in a polythene foam and paper and all that to make it waterproof, because I'm using corrugated paper corrugation. This is how you have to remove them. It's so designed now, single person. The whole assembly is made simple and single person can assemble it at site. Minimal instruction. So it looks like this. Another view. We have reduced that frontal depression because that was a bit costly. My service mechanic, because it is a more product, it is electronic product, maybe something will go wrong. It should be very easy to maintain. He is my user. Remove 2 screws and it becomes openable. Then he has to remove the connectors coming to the display and the main power off switch. Whole cover can be lifted. Now whole electronic is in front of you using multimeter and electronic maintenance expert can check what has gone wrong. This is with the self-diagnostic thing, and we even introduced some areas where it was supposed to have a shortest life, replaceable model, plug and play. No? And sitting in Bombay, we can keep the track of diagnostic track, life of machine working in New York or in Germany or whatever, in any corner of the IoT. Okay, it is IoT ready machine. So we can send across that part before it stops working. And now what we could achieve, of course, now it is easy, better looking and user friendly and all that. But look at machine is made compact by reorganizing internal. It has better aesthetics. Forward slope gives you dynamic look and prevents misuse of the top. Nobody can leave a paper cup, paper gun. Look at how much weight reduction. Almost 42% weight reduction. Like 500 kgs in my Voltas forklift truck, component reduction, assembly time reduction in the cooler pump, weight reduction in the foil sealing machine. Now I'm no more using the wooden crates. Modular concept now, packaging is easy with the paper, and because of weight reduction, modular concept, paper corrugated boxes, $1,250 to $300 FOB New York is my transportation cost. My client was more than happy even when they presented it for competition PACMAC machine award they received. And this is the machine first prototype and the owner receiving that PACMAC award. This was even displayed at Hanover and all that. Another quick case study. One more machine I developed for Equipack. It is a blister packing machine. Pharma tablets, the crocin and all that come in the blister. You just break open the foil and you can take the. So they have used the tagline, designed in Europe. There are two machines. One is the blister pack machine and another one is the cartoning machine, because all those blister pack tablets must be inserted into 3 package or 5 package, 10 packages in the carton. So the other one is the cartoning machine. So which one do you think that is designed in Europe? Of course, I'm not getting feedback in this online business, but people say the first machine is designed in a machine on the left. In fact, this machine was designed by Italian firm. Victory was their machine before I redesigned it. It looks now there is a value addedness because of the form. We reduced made it really look good, and some reduction in the cost. But most important contribution, it looks like, yes, it is a very precise machine. Look at that, look at this. One display in one exhibition, they booked order which was sufficient for them to keep engaged for 3 years. Design thinking has helped me to deliver. I call this approach as imagineering. Of course, this term is not coined by me. This is Alco, giant aluminum manufacturing company, America. Imagineering. It's not only imagination, it's not only engineering. You have to combine them together. Is the key for innovation. Innovation is successful when product is accepted by the user. So you are on the voyage of, very challenging voyage of innovation and design thinking. That's road is like a road to a future. Shubhaste Panthana. Thank you very much. Yeah. So, yeah, dear friends, could you get something?
A lot, sir.
Thanks.
So any query from the participants?
There are few. Oh, excellent session. Okay. Any
Truly, sir,
questions particularly?
Truly, sir, it was an excellent session.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So any participant would like to interact with Vijay, sir? Or they have any query, what we have discussed so far?
I tried my level best to make it different as compared to my other speakers. My colleague, my friend, Professor Lalit Das. Are you there, Lalit?
He will join it.
This session is going to be the next session. No?
Yes, sir. He'll be joining by next session, sir.
Yeah, yeah. We are close friend actually, being the same area. No?
Right, sir.
In fact, he was working in IDC on sabbatical, we interacted a lot.
Right, sir. I request the participants if they have any query of any type or would like to interact with Vijay sir in any way.
In fact, now after retirement, my mission is to conduct creativity session, and in engineering colleges, I started that, but before Corona, I could conduct this type of sessions in Ahmedabad and few other places. 5-6 sessions I could conduct then pandemic.
Right, sir.
Because this creativity sessions are to be conducted 3 days, 5 days workshop. No? Even design thinking, it's excellent, Professor Rajender, that you actually brought together. That this is, I'm sharing total, give due credit that this is the professional work done by Professor Bapat. Yeah. Okay, shall I end? Because we are.
Sir, yes, sir, we are almost on time.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for your excellence in design thinking and its implementation. All the members of the FDP are enlightened by various case studies you shared in view of your expertise. Thank
Yeah.
you, sir.
My
Over to
pleasure.
Dr. Rajender. Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
Hello.
Ma-
Hello.
Hello.
Bapat sir.
Yes.
Rajendra Kumar this side. Sir,
Yes.
we are very thankful to you for accepting our kind invitation and delivering the session. We are very thankful to you, sir.
My pleasure. My pleasure, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Please share the recording.
Yes, sir. I will definitely share with you, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
You're welcome, sir. Dear participant, I am going to share the feedback link. Please wait for a minute. Feedback form is feedback link is on the chat box. Please find.